Use the referral link in the description to g2a.com for all of your Xbox codes, PlayStation codes and video games, and be sure to use the code CHES at checkout to get yourself 3% cash back. Hey guys, welcome to episode 18 of Season 2 here at Southampton. We start with an away game against Cardiff City. We follow that up with a game in the Cup, actually, against Spurs. Previous fixture that was scheduled for this Saturday has been rearranged. We've got the FA Cup now against Tottenham, which means that the game against Brighton has been pushed back. So we'll have Tottenham and Manchester United today. One in the Cup, one in the League. Man United, obviously, there or thereabouts with regards to the top of the table. A point clear of Chelsea and Swansea, who are still challenging up there for the title. It'd be quite remarkable if they're able to stay there, even in the top four for the rest of the season. Although, to be fair, it'd be quite remarkable if I get into the top four after the shambles that was last season. Still playing okay football, still getting decent results. I'd like to get a win against Cardiff, who are rock bottom of the table. And then whatever happens against Manchester United, we'll just have to wait and see. But Cardiff away first. Borja Mayoral continues up top. Quincy Promes in at cam again, of course. Oriol Romeu and Lamina in the midfield with Kluivert and Richarlison. Out wide on the bench, we have Ward-Prowse and Buffal now. So we'll have to wait and see if we can do anything. We're going to go... Actually, I'll probably start Ward-Prowse. I can be slightly more attacking, can't I, against Cardiff. I'll probably go Romeu and Lamina for the game against Tottenham and Manchester United, or games against Tottenham and Manchester United, because they're more of a defensive pairing. But Ward-Prowse is slightly more creative, so we'll play him against Cardiff, see if we can't get ourselves 3 points in the league. Drop the video a like if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on more. To make sure you get notified every single time a video goes live, because YouTube and notifications and sub boxes have been woeful for weeks now. Click that notification bell. You'll get two extra options. One for occasional notifications for no logical reason whatsoever, and then one to get notified every single time a video goes live. Make sure you click that bell. But for now, I'm going to jump into this game against Cardiff. I think I will actually give Kieran Tierney and DeAndre Yedlin a start here as well. Alex McCarthy starting at goalkeeper now ahead of Onana. I will do what a few of you have asked and train Onana's positioning between now and the end of the season, and we'll see if that actually helps him improve. If he improves enough by the end of the year, then I'll consider not selling him. But if he's still conceding a number of silly goals, then I will sell him next year and we'll move on. But Cardiff first. 4-3-3 for Cardiff. They were very adventurous with that in the first game we played against them this year. And if I remember correctly, we hammered them. So I expect that to happen again. Regardless of the fact that they're at home this time around, we should get a solid victory. Here's Lee Tomlin down the line to Junior Hoylett. Waiting for a cross to come in. Backs in well. Skriniar with the acrobatic clearance. They'll still continue to come forward though here, Cardiff. Lee Tomlin again driving towards my box. Halford will play the 1-2, and that's floating. Well held by Alex McCarthy. That was drifting towards that far corner. Richarlison promises asked for it down the line. I'll play it to him. It's a lovely ball. Should have the pace to get away from Aquile Manga. And then look for Borja Mayoral in the middle. Oh! He misses the target. Two really good chances for me in this first half, and both have slid just past the post when both should have gone in. Nice ball over the top by Tomlin. Tierney loses out aerially. Oh, I get slightly lucky there, trying to clear it and kicking it against the other man. Kluivert will turn inside and look for Quincy Promes. Around the corner to Borja Mayoral. Dink that over looking for Richarlison, and it's away from the defender well. But there's no one yet in the middle to aim for. Drill it across, and arriving is... Oh, Justin Kluivert, who squeezes it home. Oh, at last, we've actually had a shot go into the back of the net. Should be 3-0 up. Mayoral should have finished his chance. Richarlison should have finished his earlier on as well. But at last, Justin Kluivert finds the back of the net. 1-0 Southampton. Out to Justin Kluivert. Very lively in this one, Kluivert. Without a doubt, the best player on the pitch to this point in the game. Could get himself an assist here if we could just float this into the middle, and Mayoral can poke it home. Yes, he can get an assist, and another goal for Borja Mayoral. I am almost certain at this stage that I'm going to buy him next season. You guys pointed out quite rightly that he has quite a cheap minimum release fee clause in his contract. So we might find ourselves picking up Borja Mayoral on a permanent next year, because he just cannot stop scoring for me at all. Can't help himself. Promise. Mayoral. Think that for Justin Kluivert to get in behind. Oh, it's beautifully weighted. And we'll stand the ball up into the middle. Etheridge with the punch. I'm going to get this out wide here to Richarlison, who will hit it early. Oh, big deflection off Morrison. That could have gone anywhere. As it happens, it's out for a corner. Quincy Promes will deliver the ball into the box. It's a good delivery too. Skriniar's up, as is Morrison. Two of my players end up on the ground, and in fact Skriniar stays down, holding his arm. Hopefully he's all right. Kluivert will knock that down to James Ward-Prowse. I think he's back on his feet. He's on his feet, but is he able to play on? Yes, indeed he is. Okay, good. As we approach half-time, in fact, if it had made an attacking run, in fact, he still is here in an attacking position. Skriniar! Straight at the keeper. It's going to be 2-0 at half-time. We are comfortable against Cardiff. There is no surprise, judging by how they've played in this game, why they are bottom of the table. Tierney. Cross there to Lamina. Waiting for runs. It's Justin Kluivert. Lovely turn. Brilliant turn. Pull it back. And Borja Mayoral draws a great save out of the goalkeeper, actually. Should have been 3-0 there. I could be well away and clear in this game. My finishing had just been a little bit better. I don't think Cardiff are going to threaten to get back into the game. They've been very poor to this point, just as they were in the first game against me this season, despite the fact that they've gotten a number of really good results that we've seen against the higher sides in the division, like beating Spurs and drawing with Arsenal and drawing with Manchester United, etc. They're still bottom of the table, and whenever we've come up against them, they've just been diabolically poor. I could be 5-0 up in this game. At the minute, it's just the 2, and we'll stay that way for now. Lamina. In there to... Oh, nicely ball by Borja Mayoral. Round the corner to Quincy Promes. This should be 3. And is. Lovely finish. Game over. I think it's fair to say Cardiff just quite simply aren't big enough. That's not true. They aren't good enough for the Premier League right now. They just quite simply aren't very good. Sorry, Cardiff fans. Your team sucks in this save. So Hort. Round the corner there to Junior Hoylett. Into getting behind. Cross is decent actually, and will reach Mendes-Lang, who finishes well. Questions asked again of the goalkeeper, but it was a good finish, to be fair. I was hoping to keep a clean sheet in this one because they've just not produced anything offensively. But he hits that very well. And how many times are we going to see a keeper beaten at his near post this season? He's going the right way and then stops and dives the wrong way. What are you doing? Foul. Into Classy, to Borja Mayoral, back to Classy again. Good acceleration. Quelly Menga was pointing for someone to go and pick up Borja Mayoral, and then ended up having to go himself because no other teammate went. Oh, that's a pen, surely. Promes thrown into a full spin from the tackle from Morrison. Not very good at all. I was just about to pull the trigger, actually. I think I was in the motion of shooting, which is why the momentum of swinging his leg actually spun him all the way around. Penalty to make it 4-1. Quincy will dust himself off and take it himself. And will look to put it in the right-hand side of the goal. And in typical Chesnoid fashion, the keeper saves the pen. I start to wonder whether the... Oh, then I hit the bar from the header. I start to wonder whether the... Because I just, in that particular instance, held the trigger to the right from the very beginning. And then didn't change it at all. I wonder if the CPU just reads that and it's like, well, he's going to go that way, so I'm going to go that way. Maybe I should like switch at the last minute or something and maybe try and catch the CPU out with penalties. Maybe that's why I tend to miss probably more than 50% actually of the penalties that I take. It feels that way sometimes. Ball in, Skriniar with a volleyed effort, but straight at the keeper. We'll stay at 3-1. It's headed by Borja Mayoral. Unfortunately, Quincy Promes didn't read the flight of it. Floated over looking for Mendes-Lang, their goal scorer, but Kieran Tierney deals with that well, and the final whistle probably won't be long in coming now. We fell forward to Mayoral. We might be able to get one more attack in, but no, we can't. A 3-1 victory. Could have scored many more if my finishing had been decent and I'd slotted away the penalty, but unfortunately, it's just the 3-1. But the 3 points are the most important. Completely dominated the game. Spurs haven't played this match day, so that should put us into the top 4. And now we go to the FA Cup where we will face Tottenham. Tottenham starting a strong side. In fact, probably a full strength team with Robin, Eriksson, Son, Kane, Dembele, Wanyama, Gulam, Sanchez, Vertonghen, Lloris. It's pretty much first team. Tottenham taking the FA Cup seriously. Playing at Wembley in the round of 16, of course, because that's where they play their home games. We might well be playing at Wembley again in a couple of games' time in the FA Cup, should we be able to get through this round of 16 tie against Spurs. We recently played them in the league and lost. Ian Robin scoring with his right foot, which is one of the rarest things in international football, but we will try our best this time around. Not that we didn't before, and fingers crossed, we'll actually come out on top. Wanyama. It's intercepted by Romeu. Gone with the two more defence-minded, or two of my best defensive midfielders. Cliver into Promise. Lay that in front there of Mario Lemina, and there's some space now for Richarlison to run into. I've got Aurier with me. I look to bend this around Davinson Sanchez and score a worldie finesse effort, which is not the first that Richarlison has scored for us this season, and that was brilliant. I can't get into physical battles with Goulam or Serge Aurier, with either Richarlison or Justin Kluivert, because they're just not strong enough, so I have to avoid them and only play them in when they're in space. But what a finish from Richarlison. Aurier pushed a long way forward. You can see how out of position he was. Little turn inside, bend it. Well, I intended to bend it around Davinson Sanchez, but actually it tucked inside the defender, but still bent around the outside of Hugo Lloris. Reaching for it, but couldn't quite get there. We lead at Wembley. Bertrand, in there to Romeu. There to Promise. And there's Borja Mayoral. Just knock that to Lemina. There's a bit of space out wide. I'm struggling for physicality. Out wide in their defence, as we mentioned when we scored the goal, they've got Aurier and Goulam, and then through the middle, they've got Victor Wanyama. It's not exactly the easiest of men to get past, is he? So I'm expecting Tottenham to fight back in this game, and quite emphatically. The question is whether we can withstand the storm when it does come, and it is starting to come now. Here's Heung-min Son twisting and turning away from everybody and gets inside, but Skriniar gets a block on the shot. Needs to be a little bit better defensively than that, and to be fair, Moussa Dembele centrally isn't exactly the smallest of men either, is he? Richarlison does well to tackle the man there. I need to accelerate away from Victor Wanyama, which I'm not able to do. Borja Mayoral, will knock that in front of Justin Kluivert, and then we'll drive forward with Cedric. Can we get another opportunity to perhaps get a second? Mayoral will go back. Lemina out to Richarlison. Nice turn, and that's where the strength of Aurier comes in handy. Promise. Just trying to twist and turn away from people, but it's not really working that well. Here's my ability to try and stave off that yawn. Here's Justin Kluivert. Turns in, crosses, gives it away. Oh, but Richarlison wins it back. Lloris. Promise. Richarlison. Romeu. Oh, fucking. Richarlison to Promise. Go back here to Richarlison. I'll try another finessed effort. Oh, I don't know what Lloris was doing there, but thankfully for his sake, it went wide of the target. It would have been very embarrassing if that had floated into the top corner with an attempted save like that from the Frenchman. Nearly at half-time now, and we still find ourselves in front. Nice tackle by Romeu. Okay. Promise. Picks up the loose ball. I mean, if it leads to a goal, which it may well do, then I don't mind. Quincy Promes. It has led to a goal. The initial pass was meant for the opposite man, who just ran out the way of it, and then it went to the opposite, but Quincy Promes ends up with the ball in the back of the net, so I'm quite happy regardless. We're able to get ourselves a 2-0 lead here, and Promes just had too much pace there, regardless of the strength of all of their defenders. Lloris got a big something on it, but quite evidently not enough to stop it from going in. We lead by 2-0 at Wembley. We've got a big stride towards that next FA Cup round now. Lemina. Forward to Borja Mayoral. And here to Romeu. Promes. I'll go to Borja Mayoral. Then to Promes again. Oh, well intercepted by Victor Wanyama. They've got Real Madrid coming up in the Champions League, Tottenham. So I'm surprised that they've played a full-strength side against me here with that game in mind coming up in the middle of the week. Very surprised, in fact. Christian Eriksen could look to bend them one back, but well held by Alex McCarthy. Around the corner to Christian Eriksen. There's the turn. A number of Southampton defenders back here, but can we stop them from creating a chance? Goulam inside to Harry Kane. Back to Goulam again. Robben. Eriksen. That's a good whip, and it might reach Son. It has. Alex McCarthy with a good save. Corner for Tottenham. 15 minutes to go. Christian Eriksen to deliver from that far side. Looped, but they've got plenty of tall people underneath it, but Davinson Sanchez heads straight into the hands of the awaiting goalkeeper. Eriksen, intercepted by Cedric. Out there to Richarlison. Promes around the corner to Borja Mayoral. This is good football. I could squeeze Mayoral in again if it weren't for the wonderful interception of Victor Wanyama. Eriksen through the gap to Davinson Sanchez, of all people, pushing forward into my box. That was the finish of a deadly striker, not a centre-back. Davinson Sanchez powers Tottenham back into it. Great run, and the finish on his left foot was absolutely deadly. Wow, 2-1. Bertrand Forward to Mayoral. I don't know whether to just play possession football and look to just, wind down the clock, or to actually push properly for a third. Mayoral just can't hold off Wanyama. Davinson Sanchez slipped a moment ago. If they do get a second and force a replay here, I'll be bitterly disappointed. I just checked Davinson Sanchez's stats. He's got a 3-star weak foot and really, really poor finishing. So where that goal came from, I've no idea, but Quincy Promes is in here. And if I don't seal it now... Thank you. Tottenham's defence. He pushed Davinson Sanchez up. He might score you one, but he kind of leaves some holes at the other end. Might have pulled it back to 2-1, but Quincy Promes couldn't really miss there, could he? 3-1 now. We are going through to the next round of the FA Cup at Tottenham's expense. Wanyama out to Gulam. Oh, it's a hell of a cross. McCarthy had to come and punch that because Christian Eriksen was going to flick that on at the near post. God, he's just driving for the byline. And we've got the tackle in, but it will be a corner here to Tottenham. There is... Lloris is coming up. Is he? Yeah, no, he is definitely coming up. And he stopped there as if the manager was waving him back and saying no. And then he whips it there. Okay, well, they might still score. Kovacic with great footwork. Oh, he's missed the target, but it wouldn't have... Well, it wouldn't have counted if it had gone in. It wouldn't have mattered if it had gone in, because there's the final whistle. We would have won 3-2 anyway. But in fact, we went by 3-1. As it happens, we are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Having a very, very good run here. Huddersfield beat Ipswich, Liverpool beat Derby by 4-0. Forest beat Brighton, and West Ham beat Preston. So we will play the quarterfinals. Brentford have Chelsea, Bournemouth have QPR, and Everton have Bristol City in the remaining games to be played. I'll take Brentford in the FA Cup quarterfinals. That'll get us, hopefully, he says, through to the semi-finals quite comfortably. We have still a game in hand on Tottenham in the league. I am now training in Anna, as you can see there. So we'll head now into the league game against Manchester United, and we'll see if we can actually pick up some more points. Obviously, going to be quite difficult against Man United, considering they're top of the table, but what's goal difference look like between the two of us? I was going to say a point might put us top 4. It won't. Tottenham's goal difference is better, but in fact, a win, if other results go away, could see us move up to 3rd. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to win. Pereira in goal again for Manchester United. Twanzebe in the midfield. Sabitzer, Martial and Mata all sat behind Alexis Sanchez playing at striker. They've got Lukaku and a couple of other strong names on the bench too. Still a strong side, but not their best.
Two to watch.
Mata to João Cancelo. New signing for them, driving forward well and fast. Bertrand trying his best to keep up, but can't stay with him. Decent delivery from the Portuguese, but Cedric heads away before Martial can arrive. He would have had the run on him as well, had he been just a little bit closer. Mayoral manages to squeeze that across there to Richarlison. I'll get it out wide here to Justin Kluivert. Promise has kept that run going. Kluivert on a hell of a run. Put it there ahead of Mayoral. Draws a good save out of Joel Pereira. On his weak foot there, Mayoral, but a decent effort. Promise with the delivery, and underneath. This is Wesley Hurt, and Pereira rises well to hold on particularly well for a second time. 12 minutes in, we've had the first chances of the game, but no goals. Richarlison just reaches Promise via the foot of Matic. Bit of space there for Justin Kluivert though, as the defenders are pulled out of position. I'll cross the ball in, I'll try and knock this down, and then Quincy Promise on the volley, blocked well by Nemanja Matic. Corner's coming in from Quincy again. Second corner of the game. Oh, Martial heads that away. Wesley Hurt will chase after it. I'll try and quickly get it back towards the front line. Cedric could cross, although not really anyone in the box to aim for. Could play it on the floor here looking for Mayoral, but João Cancelo steps in well. United defending well, but not attacking well, as you can tell in that particular pass there. Kluivert through the gap. Mayoral tried to lay that off to Promise, but it's well intercepted. Alexis. Cross there to Twanzebe. Forward to Sabitzer. To Mata. Out-muscling. Oh, it's not a foul. Mata just needs to get on the weight. So it's never been a foul. Right, free kick in a really dangerous position. Rafael Guerreiro will take it for Manchester United. Just lofts it in and Martial flicks it on. McCarthy leaps away to make the save. Their first effort on goal in this game, Manchester United, and it wasn't the most difficult to deal with. Mina to Richarlison. Around the corner to Bertrand. We'll drive into that gap. I'm not going to drive into that gap. Oh, they're giving it away. Really poor. Promise, make me a decent run, please. Quincy. Oh, and he has done. Quincy Promise hit it early. I can't quite. It's going to drop to Justin Kluivert, and that is the worst of scuffed efforts, but it does find the back of the net. We lead at Old Trafford after 34 minutes. We've had the better chances. It hasn't been that riddled with opportunities on goal the game to this point. I was hoping, just as I got the turn in there, to slot Promise in a little bit early. Couldn't quite take it as early as I wanted him to, but Justin Kluivert just scuffs that one, squirms into the bottom corner. Pereira would be disappointed to have conceded something quite that tame, stretching with his leg and not quite long enough. 1-0 Southampton.
Who would have backed them to be trailing as we count the minutes down to
Ping.
half-time?
Back down. We're going to have to go back to him here. Don't really have many other options. Passing getting a little bit loose at the minute, but still got possession. A second before half-time would be not game-winning, but very much putting things in our favour. We'll take the advantage there too. Charlison with a turn. I'll pull it back. It's Borja Mayoral. Loves a finesser, but can't find the target with this one. Still just a 1-0. 5 minutes before half-time. Sabitzer. He's up back to Twanzebe. Still looking for the equaliser before the break, United. Not being too wasteful in possession in this game. I've just been pretty good at winning it back. Oh no. Oh, and I am going to get the ball back. Unfortunately, it's because I'm going to have to kick off because United have scored. Alexis Sanchez starting at striker, just pouncing on the opportune drop of the ball there. I tried to clear it with hurt and just kicked it against the man that was next to me. Oh, and I don't think, even if it hadn't taken the deflection, the keeper would have saved it. But he just didn't stand a chance, I don't think, from that range. 1-1. There we go, please, Ryan. Thank you. Always favoured him to win in the air against Juan Mata, to be honest. Promise just held his run slightly there, and that was actually exactly what I needed him to do in that situation. Kluivert actually ducked back inside, squeezed that across there to Richarlison, then round the corner to Promise. Borja Mayoral has dropped. We'll use Justin Kluivert, then look for Mayoral around the corner, and we very nearly had a superb move finished off to give us the lead back again. Promise with the delivery from the corner. Oh, Mayoral just couldn't really jump for it or commit to a header because the flight of the ball wasn't quite as it needed to be for him. And apparently that's their throw. All right then. Richarlison, forward to Borja Mayoral. Heavy touch. Does eventually get it under control. Just have to wait to find a teammate to play it off to. There's Promise. And going again is Borja Mayoral. Marcus. No! Oh, stole it off him and then couldn't get the shot away before it won it back again. Back to Twanzebe. Big ping looking for Martial. Cedric was slow on the uptake. And Anthony is in behind here. Tony Martial cutting inside. Sabitzer, I think that was going wide anyway, but McCarthy not taking any risks. 2 changes upcoming. Sofiane Boufal coming on. And Yuri Classy also entering the fray. Quincy Promise moved out wide and Classy will take up a central attacking midfield role. He went for the header there, Martial, and completely missed the football. Classy involved, but João Cancelo too strong and takes it off him. Martial also too strong for secondary man then. Here's Smalling out to Mata. Dodgy first touch, but we'll get it to João Cancelo. Popping up everywhere on the pitch, Cancelo for United in this game. Other than right back, it seems. Mata tackled. I'll fire this up to the front line and hopefully we can just knock it down to a teammate. But finding only Twanzebe. United forward again. Sabitzer with the turn. Alexis making moves. Here's Juan Mata. I'd be pleased with a point from Old Trafford, especially considering they are table topping. Not far wide at all from the Chilean. Foul to Lamina. I'll go forward to Borja Mayoral. Around the corner there to Sofiane Boufal. He's in behind here. Now if Jordi Claessy can make me a decent run, I will find him in the middle. No, there's Promise at the back post. Southampton 2, Manchester United 1. We lead again at Old Trafford and there's only 15 minutes to go. They scored at the very end of the first half, so we will have to be vigilant right up until the final whistle. But we've given ourselves a great opportunity, getting all 3 points from Old Trafford and moving up into the top 4. Oh, Classy very nearly stealing that off Nemanja Matic. Similar to Tottenham, they've committed a lot of bodies forward. Marcus Rojo here in the attack. Here's Alexis going back to the Argentine. Rojo. Sabitzer squeezes at home. It didn't work for Tottenham. It has worked for Manchester United. 2-2 now, and there's 5 minutes left. With it being Manchester United and the game at Old Trafford, there's more than a high chance that they will get themselves a winner yet. Eric Bailly. There's the cross. Should win that. Wesley Hurt does well. Romeo tackled by... No, Alexis Sanchez well held by Alex McCarthy. Core, dearie me. A point at Old Trafford is huge. particularly disappointed not to have been able to hold on for the 3. But still, you know what? But Bailly. It is going to be a 2-2 draw, unfortunately, against Manchester United at Old Trafford. I'll take that. I'm pleased with that. It won't quite put us into the top 4 because we'll now be level on points with Tottenham and behind on goal difference. But we are Champions League chasing, top 4 spot chasing, and hopefully by the end of the season we might just have been able to squeak ourselves into that top 4 and hold us there. In the next round of the FA Cup, I'm not sure if it's been drawn yet. I'll have a quick look at the calendar. Has it yet been drawn? It hasn't. So we're still waiting to find out who we'll face in the next round. The game against Chelsea has already been changed, though, although it's only gone from the Saturday to the Sunday, so I'm not entirely too sure why. Might be because of the Brighton game move. I'm not sure. But the league table looks as follows. United still top, level on points now with Chelsea, who have a game in hand. Swansea there on 43, Spurs on 42, ourselves on 42, and Manchester City on 41. So it's going to be very tight for the title. It's going to be very tight for the top 4. We'll have to wait and see how things pan out in the next 13 Premier League games. But for now, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any more. There'll be a Road to Glory episode tonight as well, of course. And I'll see you then.